We're fine.
Yeah, it's done.
Michal, I have to tell Michal this.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here, and Daddy's clearly still organizing himself, and I'm thinking in my head, I thought you were ready, but I didn't say anything. And Safta's like, I thought you were ready. All right. All right, audience girl.
So we have start.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Would you like to do the interviewing since you're a better interviewer?
Yeah, Mom, don't try.
You are.
No,
You
Mom.
can't do it.
He made me do it. I don't want to do it.
All right. So,
See that I hear it.
okay.
I want to be able to hear it.
Hear what?
You'll be able to hear.
Safta, sit up. You look horrible.
Okay.
Okay, do me a favor. We're recording now.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
okay.
Good.
I prefer that she looks at the camera. So if you want to come over here.
I'll be like the Elmo.
What do you mean the Elmo?
Photographer shakes the Elmo.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So we appreciate you telling a little bit about your life. And I'm sorry, the microphone was picking up on your crunching.
Peanut gallery, macadamia nut gallery.
Okay, Mom.
You better swallow, girl. This microphone is so sensitive that if Michal has gas, it'll pick it up.
You know what? It's so sensitive that if you
I have a
smell
bad
Mommy's,
stomach. Yeah.
Okay.
STDs.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Are we gonna show this for
I have a bad stomach
posterity?
all day. I have to eat potato for supper.
It wasn't even soft.
Okay. So let's start again.
Good.
So we appreciate you taking the time.
Good.
Out of your busy schedule.
I have a busy schedule. That's video that takes a lot of time, the laughing.
So let's start out. Let's go all the way back.
Good.
Where were you born?
June 28, 1926. I don't remember where I
How
was.
many pounds were you?
Well,
How many pounds?
I don't know. There
How
were
many
no
kilos?
pounds. There were no pounds those days.
Kilos.
Anyways,
What town were you born in?
I beg your pardon?
What town?
Town of Dieu. You can see it on my birth certificate. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I would just say I'd like to thank you about my home, my family, so now you know where your bad habits come from.
Okay.
She's a comedian.
Not a comedian. Well, yesterday, when I looked at this Michal Esther Dicker, I said to myself, those were my two brothers and sisters, the youngest who really went at a very early age and very innocent. And I'm glad you carried that name. I was so happy when I see that. So let's go back and to tell you what I remember. I was 6-year-old when I remember I had a beautiful white suit and I fell in the mud in the park and I cut the mud with a knife. That was 6-year-old. Then I remember when my sister was born. Then it's a little bit later. Then I started school. I don't remember much. I went to a very nice little Orthodox school and it was very good discipline. And soon after my brother was born, the little one, MAH00040, and Esther was the older one. And so on, we lived in a very, very nice home. I remember when we were smaller, lived in a smaller home, then we moved to a very prominent, nice apartment. I mean, those days, apartments and bathrooms and separate toilets was a luxury. And we had beautiful things furnished. And I remember a nice living room, a nice dining room, but the living rooms were not sofas. People sat up upright on chairs. And they used the living room for good dining room also, both dining room. And at the age of 10, I went to gymnasium. And for an Orthodox girl, that was a very unusual, because we had to go to school on Shabbos, and a maid had to carry your bag, and it was conspicuous, and it was very unpleasant because you couldn't read on Shabbos. You could read, but you couldn't write. So I went through all the grades up to 8th grade, and I had a few Orthodox girls in my class. And what can I tell you? I must mention that my father, late father, was a very adamant and very strong-minded person, and I was one Orthodox girl. The rest were Jewish but not Orthodox, and he did not permit to play with her for 2 years or 3 years because the father never gave a donation to the shul. So it took my mother 2 years to convince my father that I can't be alone. So gradually, in grade 4, that was grade 4, like grade 4 here, and then high school, and then we moved on to grade 8. And when was that? In 1939. Well, in 1939, the Germans came into Austria, or 38, 39. And I was in my grandmother's house when the war started. We were in the country. And gradually, the situation for the Jews got worse. My mother never refused me nice things and fine things because she felt that I'm a young girl and she's not going to deny me anything. But I did deny things for themselves. And I worried plenty about the people in Poland and whatever. But I don't know why the people were narrow-minded. Perhaps it was no way to get out, or just didn't know how to get about it. But if you really want it, I look at it today's eyes, I would think we should have moved. We should have risked to go away, to escape somewhere. But then then they were concerned, what are we going to do for 4 children? Because we were 4 children, myself, my brother, and then the other 2 young ones. So they felt maybe they won't be able to start a new life. What are they going to do? And put it with me, sometimes I think it was a narrow-minded, complacent thought.
What are the ages of the brothers and sisters?
My brother was 4 years, 3.5 years younger than me.
Which one?
Robert. No. His name was Paul.
And which was Paul is, which Hebrew name?
Nothing.
So Paul was 4 years younger than you?
Yeah, 3.5, 4 years.
And then your sister?
My sister Lucy was 9 years, was 6 years, 6 years younger.
And then?
She was born in 1933, and I was born in 26. She was 7 years younger.
And then the other brother?
The other one was in 1935.
Math, so he was?
He was 9 when he went to Auschwitz, and the other one was 11.
And your sister was?
11.
And your other brother was?
14.
Okay.
Something like he
9,
went...
11, 14,
Yeah,
and you were?
Yeah, 18.
18.
So that was 1939 on. But somehow I was busy in school, and I had young friends, and we weren't so much concerned, only to the last minute. Those were hard years for my parents. I am sure my mother wouldn't wear a fur coat, she wouldn't dress fancy, because she felt badly for the Jews. And we lost a lot of relatives in Vienna. Some of them escaped, and some of them managed to escape to England, America, whatever, and a lot of them stayed there. So that's about the very hard years. Now, I still had a very good young life because my parents, what do you mean? My parents, what do you mean, just held back all the bad news, and I let me live a young life. And then after the coming out of camp, then I had to stand up take care of myself. Now I must tell you that when I was in grade 4, like Shim's grade 4, or grade 5, I would think, my parents hired an English teacher. I thought I won't stand it. I didn't want to attend the classes, and I was forced to learn English. What a catastrophe. And I came here to Canada knowing English, French, and German.
And Hebrew.
Well, Hebrew I know a little bit, like I understand, but I don't speak it. Now, after when I was liberated myself, that was...
Did you learn French also private?
Yeah, no, French was high school, compulsory. And high school was
And
compulsory.
German also?
German, French, and Latin.
Okay.
That was compulsory.
And the English was private lesson, the Hebrew was also private lesson?
No, Hebrew was some joint lesson from the Neolog synagogue.
Okay.
They gave joint lesson, and I
If
thought...
Safta had learned Hebrew with a tutor, she would have spoken the language.
Well,
Okay, I just want to know. Do you know the answer?
and also, the Hebrew taught us a little bit of Tanakh. So we learned that. So then I started what should I tell you? I think I better tell you from the family. And Saba's family. Saba's family...
No, keep on, still stay on your family.
And then go back to Sabaz after. Just talk about you, and you started saying after you left, Auschwitz.
Yeah,
what did you
whatever,
do?
but I think...
What did you do when you left?
I think we should know about the family.
After.
No,
We're still on your family.
I want to finish you, and then we'll go back to
No,
Sabaz.
I like to go with the family.
Okay.
But we want to talk about your
No, I
family.
like to talk about the family, because the background of the family gives you a chance to continue.
I know, but I care. I want to know about your family more.
But
You
what's
only
the
gave us
difference?
10 minutes worth.
Okay.
So who escaped? Who escaped that you stayed in touch with when you said people escaped?
Well, we had a lot of distant cousins, and I knew my father's family that came from... They were in Vienna. My mother's family was also in Vienna. They moved to Berlin, and we didn't remain religious. They didn't remain religious. But
Whose family didn't remain religious?
my mother's mother, sister, and that she only had one sister and one brother. As a matter of fact, Bob found her grave in Vienna.
Whose grave?
My grandmother's brother's wife.
Okay.
So that's all we know. So my father's family, there were 7 children, and some of them survived because they had big families, and I had numerous cousins like Israel and Ruth and so on.
Well, who are the rest? Israel, Ruth?
Israel.
How's Ruth related to you?
She is my father's brother's daughter.
Okay, and Israel also.
Also, that's father's brother.
But a different
Yeah.
brother.
Now, let me tell you about my mother and father. My father comes from this family of 7, and when he was a young boy, there was one war, another war. He went to school, he lived in his brother's house, and he worked at night for his brother.
As what?
As a clerk.
What did
For
his
what?
brother do?
Well, their brother was a wholesaler or whatever.
Of what?
I think wood or just...
Where, in Vienna?
No, in Czechoslovakia.
But then how did they get to Vienna?
Vienna is my mother's side.
Oh, I thought you said they were both in Vienna. That's
No. Okay, don't ask so many questions because you confuse me. So that was my mother's side. There were 5. You have one picture here. You have my grandmother here, and you have one Tibor, Moshe, and they had another sister that was Geza's. Remember Geza? When we went to Boston, his wife, and another brother.
So Tibor's your mother's brother?
Yeah, okay.
Paul, Geza.
No, Geza is the husband.
Geza was the husband.
I don't even remember her name.
Oh, Geza is the husband
Of the sister.
Okay.
Now, you hold me back to thinking. Don't ask so much. Okay, ask at the end.
Okay.
Okay. No. So they were 7, my mother was 5. a few left over. And actually what happened after the camps were, people were liberated, people were going around for months and months, and one met the other one, because there was no communication. And Yoki met another fellow who loaned me $50. And when Yoki, you remember Yoki, when he met him, I said, I don't want her to have debts to you, I'm going to pay her debt. So he paid my debt. So that's when so finally, the day I was liberated, I managed to get myself whatever I needed. I spoke German, I went to the authorities, and under the laws of the DPs and the displaced person, I got myself an apartment, I got everything settled that you needed for living. And I gave you ration cards, so we managed well. Then I asked my family to send me coffee. I used to trade that, and we used to get food and many good things for coffee. Then I spoke English, so I was dealing with prostitutes who got paid for sex, and they got PX money, and the PX money had to be exchanged. And I took it on the black market to sell it. So I lived.
What's PX?
PX was their money they got paid. It was probably a currency.
But how did you find the black market?
Oh, in the Jewish camps.
I wouldn't know where to find the black market.
Well, you went to the Jewish people, you managed.
Huh.
So what happened
What
is...
did you trade it for in the black market?
I don't know. It's called PX money.
Right, so you took the money.
Traded it for mark or dollars, whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, well, how did your family have coffee?
Well, family had coffee in the United States. Germany was short of coffee.
Yeah, but how did, like,
Who
the
sent it to you?
Yeah.
They sent it to me.
What family?
My mother's family. You know, the one that moved to Berlin.
How did you have their address?
Wait, so...
And you know, this Joan told her mother used to send it to us. Her grandmother.
Okay.
Her grandmother.
And she was your mother's family?
Anna, yeah, she was my mother's aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, but how did you have an address?
How did you even...
I don't know, you find it somehow. I don't know, Michal. I don't.
And where did they live in the United States?
They lived in the United States, in, what is that, Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Okay.
You remember that this girl told her,
Joan, yes.
Joni, she stopped talking to me, but her mother was my mother's cousin.
Okay.
So much for that. And no sooner after that, I lived there with some girls. I came out of camp. I didn't know the girls' background. They were nice people. So we tried to trade and live together. So one day, a very religious fellow who went to a yeshiva on the same town where my grandparents were, came up to me.
Which grandparents?
Fathers.
In Hungary. So he says to me, these girls are not your company. These people are not your company. He says, you leave that. It's not your family. It's not type of people. Maybe they were manipulating, but afterward everybody was manipulating. And he took me to his family. Behold, the family is Hasidim. They were very nice.
What did you wear? If they're
Oh, no, I
Hasidic?
was just going to say, they never told me wear a short sleeve dress. They just insisted I come there for Shabbos, and I had nowhere to go. So.
Wait, did you stay with them generally or for
No,
Shabbos?
I had an apartment.
Okay.
No, this fellow took me, and I went to Munich, and I found again an apartment on the DP program, and I went up to the Joint Distribution Committee. I said, I speak English, I need a job. And they gave me a job in the religious department. So I had a job. I learned typing on my own. I met a soldier or whoever on the subway, and he gave me a book to learn typing, just like that. I don't know why. I borrowed the typewriter for coffee, And I learned typing, and I went to take a job.
So what did you do in this religious job?
Well, they were typing, they were sending this provision to give fertilizum and sidurum and all that. I don't care. I answered the phone, whatever, and I did my job. And I had this apartment. And next door, they gave free lunches, all kosher lunches. So I ate their kosher lunches. I got myself a double ration card on the two names, so whatever. Listen, I did anything. And ration cards, and I had my lunch and supper, and a good lunch I found in that, next to the joint distribution, they had free lunches. And I remember when they handed out ration cards, they gave typhoid instruction. I took 2 or 3 just to get 2 or 3 ration cards. And the guy was fighting with the people in the window, push out the people at the door. I climbed in the window. I got another card. Don't worry, I survived. That's the only time I climbed the window.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But
I was gonna say.
yeah. So I stayed on the job, and I went to these people, and I made a few friends, but these people insisted, this is Goldie Fekkete's aunts and cousins and all that.
Fekkete.
Yeah, she was very nice. And then I stayed, and my boss was a rabbi, and he wanted to see that I can immigrate. And the Hungarian quota was very bad, it was very low. So he persuaded somebody to put me on a domestic worker program, just arrive, and then I went to the Jewish community. So I arrived in Quebec, I arrived in Montreal. There were a few Jewish girls on that.
How old were you?
I was 22 already. I was in 22. So we stayed with some family. They insisted we stayed with them, and they say we helped them. And then...
Did you help them?
Yeah, I had to, because I had no food, nothing.
Yeah.
And I stayed there 3 months, and they sent me immediately to it's sort of a domestic program, but it's different that time. And they sent me, the people are very nice, and the parents of
What was their name?
Schechter. The
Okay.
parents of this lady were Russian immigrants, and he was prior a lawyer. And he worked as a bookkeeper because he couldn't work as a lawyer, and he was very helpful. When he saw me arrive, they got me a scholarship, $30, from some Jewish organization, and they sent me to Concordia. Those days it was Sir George, to take a bookkeeping course. So no sooner I finished, I went to call the Jewish Vocational Service, and I got a job, and I worked there, but it was a long wait in Germany. And I worked there
How long?
for 1 year in a wholesale carpet business. I never threw a carpet out yet, because I bought such good ones. I know what good. Wholesale carpet company. And then, what did I? Next door, in front of us, lived the Pfeiffers.
Wait, now you're in Montreal?
Yeah, Montreal on Hutchison Street.
Wait,
And
so what are you talking about, the carpet?
So you worked first for the joint, and then where did you work for the carpet wholesaler?
In Montreal.
Munich? Oh, not in Munich.
4 years I worked there, 3 years, 2 years I worked for the joint, whatever I worked.
And you said it was a year to wait to get out.
For 4 years, because from
4 years.
4 day one-on-one to wait.
But why did you know that you wanted to emigrate?
Well, I'm not going to stay there.
I know, but then why didn't you go to Israel or something?
Well, I didn't want to go because people, you heard news that, first of all, the news were bad from Israel. It was also difficult to get in there. And my father had an aunt in where did I live? Not in Poughkeepsie, Rhode Island. What's her name?
Erica.
Yeah, Erica. What is Rhode Island, the big town?
Providence.
Providence. So they lived there. So I started to get, you know, I was in contact with them and they signed my papers, whatever that.
But you didn't come to the U.S. You went to Canada.
I went to Canada. I wanted to, but I couldn't get. So this, never get into the United States. The wait was so long you could die. So I'm happy. That's
But
it.
Lily went.
Huh?
You knew Lily went to Israel.
Yeah, Lily. I met Lily once. I visited, and Lily went to Israel.
Well, how did you first meet Lily?
Oh, by fluke. You know, we were traveling around. The trains were cheap. We were living a free life. So I went to Bergen-Belsen. You figured you meet somebody.
No, when did you first meet Lily?
I went to school with her.
Oh, okay, fine.
8 years.
So then you saw her after the war.
After, I went to Bergen-Belsen and she was there. So you look up the
You
list.
found her.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't remember if she found you or you found her. You found her.
Whatever, I don't remember.
And then she said she was in a blanket. I don't know. She told the story.
I don't remember, listen, can't remember.
And then you kept in touch with Lily.
Absolutely, but she went to Israel because she got married in Bergen-Belsen.
And then how did that get her to Israel?
But I don't know, because you know they went, stay here, stay there.
How did you stay in touch with Lily?
I don't know.
Okay.
You send messages, you manage.
But didn't you say you had an easier time than most people in the camp?
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate compared to others, yeah.
Because you said you had like a job.
No, I had no job there. No.
Well,
You said you were dismantling grenades or something.
Yeah, well, that's, everybody had a job.
But you were older, that's why they kept you to work.
No, I don't know, I'm
So
not...
why was your situation better? Why was your situation more fortunate?
Because I had a better situation, because I had luckily a good situation.
No, but I'm asking you why was your situation...
Like God gave it, what are you going to do?
No, I'm saying why was it superior?
Because it was an easier job.
And you weren't there for so long.
Well, what can I do? None of the Hungarians were there so long.
So that's
So
good.
long enough. It was
Yeah,
long.
I believe that.
So you got to Montreal and you were first working for a carpet wholesaler as a bookkeeper?
Yeah, she taught me bookkeeping. I knew bookkeeping like you knew.
And you lived near the Pfeiffers.
What?
You lived near the Pfeiffers.
Pfeiffers on Hutchison Street. I lived with a friend of the girls. You know, we came 3 girls together on the boat. We became very friendly. And these girls were in the same program. So one of these lady or whatever recommended to stay with their mother. So I got a room there and I paid $10 room and board. They were very, very nice people.
So who were the people who owned the house who you boarded with?
What? No, that was an apartment.
Oh.
It was a Russian couple. He was a presser, but she was a very nice lady.
Okay.
She was smart.
Where were you during the summertime? Tell us about the story when you went away. You left a job and you went to a family with a summer
This
house.
family,
No, that was the
no,
original.
this family where I was, they went to the country and I offered to stay with them because my mother said go to the country in the summer. So I stayed with them 6 weeks. Wait.
And who was the family? Remember there's a doctor at Jefferson who's from Montreal.
Well, that's the Schachter's cousin or whatever. But that was one thing. I volunteered to stay 6 weeks because I go to the country.
Volunteer to work for 6
Yeah,
months?
because I volunteered to babysit because I wanted to go to the country.
It's important.
I took 6 years to go to the country because not going to stay in town. God forbid you die.
In the city.
Were you cold in Montreal?
Huh?
Were you cold in Montreal?
Didn't bother me. I had a fur coat. The first year I bought a fur coat.
Where did you get a fur coat?
I bought
I don't have a fur coat.
I bought, what do you call, a beaver, not a beaver, but...
Raccoon?
Not a raccoon.
Bear.
Muskrat.
Huh? No, I had muskrat later.
Skunk.
I don't know, I don't know. A lamb, a cheap
Persian lamb?
Yeah, something very cheap. But you needed a fur coat because you were cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You had to travel by streetcar, so wasn't extravagant. Anyways, I got a job. And this gentleman, this the Siegel's relative, cousins or whatever, this Russian fellow, I told him about the money that my father put away in England, and he did all the correspondence, and I got my money from England, no charge, no trouble.
Well, when did your father tell you like the password and all the information?
I knew the password.
Yeah, but how did you know?
He told me.
When?
Before when we left, when times were bad, the last couple of months, he told me.
And how did you get your candlesticks, your mother's
Oh,
candlesticks?
we sent them to Tibor and he buried them.
Tibor buried them.
Yeah, Tibor buried them.
Where did Tibor live?
In a little town not far from here.
So how did you get them? You got them or Tibor got them?
Oh, the smuggle go back, and I can't remember all those trips.
But you didn't, did you go home?
Yeah, in 1947 I went home to look for what we buried, all the diamonds and golds, but somebody took it. So, goodbye. You missed something.
Well,
But somebody
yeah,
kept your
I believe
linens.
Yeah, that's
The neighbor?
whatever. You can trust nobody.
No, but that's what you have. You have some of it.
I have some, nothing.
Did you have jewelry when you were younger?
Yeah, I had
Like
not
what?
as much as you, but I had nice things.
Like what?
A ring, a watch. I mean, people didn't use so much.
How did you get clothes?
My mother had it made me as a dressmaker.
Was there anything in stores?
Very little. It was a novelty to buy something in stores. And my mother there was one good store, and my mother bought there. Very, very
What
big.
was the name?
Hmm?
What was the name?
I don't remember. I remember one thing. When I was 9-year-old, people went in stores and they bargained. And my mother started to bargain for a scarf and hat set for me. Because everybody bargained. There was a certain amount of bargaining area. And I said to my mother, no, the other store has the same price. My mother said, good, you get no scarf. I got no scarf and no hat, and you had that here. I survived. Next time we don't talk.
Well, how did you have food?
Hmm?
Like, did you have to cook all the food, or could you buy it?
Food? Every week I went to the market and bring in by baskets. And my mother was a good customer at a very big grocery store. So she would take it in there and they would deliver it for her bicycle. A guy went on a bicycle.
Oh,
Nope.
sickle.
No fridges.
Well, we had no fridge.
No fridge.
My uncle had a fridge.
Which uncle? Geza?
Geza, yeah, he had a
Geza.
fridge, an electric iron. He had a built-in cupboard.
How come nobody else did?
He was very modern, very...
You're right, but how come nobody else did?
No, nobody built a... Well, Geza lived on his parents' property in a little private house.
Right, but how was he able to access this
well,
stuff and nobody else?
He knew.
Your father was rich. He could have gotten one.
He didn't do it. My uncle Geza was like Adam. He knew everything. He knew everything good. You know, this man came to Canada. He had a tremendous business.
Geza?
Yeah, with his father, spirits. You know, they had good money, whatever they had. And he came to Canada, and he was 57-year-old, and he got a job in Boston's very big community, a very well-to-do company. They were making artificial material and shipping it all over the United States. He created a job for himself in this company that he did nothing but check invoices of transport, and he saved lots of money for the company. He was a very, very smart guy. Anyways, going back to that. I could tell you hundreds of anecdotes, but listen, that scarf business was shut, you must. Very strict. Michal, we were so strict. I can't tell you, we were 4 children. If you think Shim and you fought, you should have seen what went on. We fought day and night. We kicked under the table. Oh, you don't know all the things we did. But anyways, it's over. Afterwards, we couldn't find.
Well, didn't you pull your sister's arm out of her socket?
What?
Didn't you pull your sister's arm out of the socket?
Yeah, that was me who pulled the arm out
But
of
you were
the
playing.
playing on my sister all the time. But I did all kinds of things.
You ate 9 donuts one time.
Oh, the donuts. My mother would make good donuts. I wish Adam would like them. Believe me,
Nine out of 12.
fresh light donuts. Anyways, look, let's see. Now, let's concentrate what I had at home and then we continue.
Right, and then also in Canada, you moved, what happened?
Wait, well, let's finish Canada. So I met Dad on this place. I arrived in Canada in September 1948. When I came back from the country in October, one of the holidays, I met Dad, right?
Pesach.
No, one of the fall holidays afterward.
Where?
1950.
Where did you meet him?
Well, at this place, maybe Pesach or something.
Oh, at eating.
No, at the 51st.
Okay.
And we were married in October. I figured it's a good guy. I figured I need to find a way to impress him that he thinks I'm smart.
So how did you impress him?
Oh, I learned, tell him. Watch you. So let's finish that. So after that, it's a different story. Well, where we were. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but why did
Wait,
some-
after I finished the
You
book.
just skipped over a whole part.
Yeah, after I finished the bookkeeping in the carpet store, either I worked too fast or they were slow. That was only work for a half a day. So I decided I'd take another half a day job. So in the afternoon I went to a different firm and I did payroll there every day. So I learned how to do payroll. Then on the weekend, on Sunday, I applied for a job at the Y to work the telephones with blocks. It paid well. So after that, so much. And then afterwards I met Dad and we got married, and then the hard work started.
Yeah, but what was he doing that he was a good...
When he be married, he had no job.
I'm saying, so why did you think he was
But he was an
viable?
accountant.
Well, he learned accounting, but he skipped it because he found it too boring.
Yeah, but why did you think that he was good
Well,
enough?
he only lost his job a week before we got married or something.
No, but I'm saying, why was he someone that...
Because he was smart. He was thinking like I learned thinking at home. He comes from the same background. Don't forget, he comes from the same background, the same manners, the same type of ideas. Maybe they didn't have as fancy home because we were really well off, but he comes from a very, very good, interesting, good background. And he also went to gymnasium. And I said I never marry anybody who doesn't speak French, English, and German and Latin.
Boy, that's tough.
Huh?
That's
Yeah.
that's a tough criteria.
It was tough criteria. You know, there was people like me walking around and getting married one after the other. And there were people like, let's say, Eva Steinloff's husband. His parents lived in Germany. The parents of Eva's husband, you know,
Eva meaning Freddie.
Eva and Freddie, the parents of Eva's husband come from Poland and they stayed in Germany and they created money for themselves. You have no idea. You have no idea what those immigrant people from Poland could accumulate and manage. Times weren't normal. I mean, Mr. Lipschitz, you remember Lipschitz? He carried a suitcase full of dollars on the train and you don't know what went on.
How did they make so much money?
well, on black market because things were not available. These people got them and raised the price went up and they managed. So I had, everybody says, when you get married, everybody was getting married.
So why were they getting married? Because they found people who were rich?
They were alone, they were alone. They
Yeah, that's
wanted,
what you do after you all
they,
stuff.
no, they were alone, they were desperate. It's French, English, German and Latin you speak, or we don't talk. People used to say, I have too many great demands. I didn't give up. So what can I tell you from home? Before I move on, I came to Canada and I'm not going to tell you what we had to do to build a house, but our house is here, okay? Thank God. Now, let me tell you that my father had a very good business. He was in the lumber wholesale. He bought wood, had it cut up, and they sold the lumber for building. And he started the business on his own. In the beginning, he used to travel in the morning and do his accounting by himself. And then eventually we moved to him because he had his office in the house, he had a typewriter, he had the finest paper, finest stationery, and 2 secretaries. So you can imagine it went good until the German came, and then it sort of diminished. That's it. I remember another incident. One Shabbos night, Motzei Shabbos, the secretary's mother came to pick up the daughter or whatever, and I saw them outside, and they left. And I told my parents, you know, they almost chopped my head off. Why I didn't tell them that the parents were here and I wanted to meet them. How should I know? I was 10 years old. How should I know that I have to call them? I had to guess.
I just don't understand how you didn't have a fridge.
What?
What did you do with leftovers?
No washing machine?
They had the...
Washing machine does not concern me as much as a fridge.
No, they had the ice, they delivered ice every day, and you had to let the tab off like on the cooler in Cape Cod.
And what about stove, oven?
Yeah, we had a gas stove. We needed the stove because you needed the heat. And my father was a very religious, fine man and very charitable. Very charitable. And he belonged to the community, and there was so much argument, I won't touch community work as long as a 10-foot pole. 10-foot pole.
Well, did you go to shul on Shabbat?
No. Only men went to shul on Shabbat.
Ah, cool.
No. And my parents read good books, very good literature. My mother belonged to a good library. I went with her when I was older. No, we were well educated. No wonder I looked for the languages. So when I was in Germany, I spoke my German. When I stepped into Canada, I spoke French and English. So I'm okay. I was okay. So I'm not discussing from then on because we managed. What else can I tell you? Tell you about Dad. If you want to know how the German Jewish and German people live, you have to read a book by Thomas Mann. He won one of the books, he won the Pulitzer Prize, whether for this or the other one, The Golden Mountain, in 1929. That book, the way the German families live, with all that hocus pocus, but all very polite, name each other. I mean, I must tell you that book was a riot to read. Riot because the way they lived, so tight, but always polite and nice. Even if they spoke Lashon Hara, it was polite and nice. I tell you, they were the slaves of their habits. They wouldn't change. That book was the greatest book I read because I understand how they lived. So that's how Saba's family lived. And you know, Lotte and Dave, they all played in the same yard. because they all went home to the grandparents for the summer.
But Lot and Dave were brother and sister.
Oh, yeah, Lotte and
Exactly.
Dave.
They were part of the same family.
Well, yeah, that's a little close. What about the other Dave?
The other Dave, yeah, he was also there. And there is another one who was in Hugo. Remember Hugo?
We know Hugo.
And there was another one, Inge, from Argentina. She's now somewhere in Des Moines. I have to call her next one. And believe me, they were nice people. And when they didn't let Jewish people go to school, Saba, the rabbi of the shul, liked Saba, and he studied with him every day. So he may have missed 1 year high school, but he got a lot of Jewish studies, no charge. And he really liked studies. You know yourself what he liked. So what else? They had a good life, believe me, it was short. Michal, we had one bicycle. My father lost so much money, you don't know how much. 4 children, 2 big ones had one bicycle, 2 little ones had one tricycle. We were so careful with money, I have no idea. Or maybe just people didn't buy luxury. But we had nice silver, nice dishes. All day I cleaned the dishes. 2 maids and a governess, and go to the park with them and wear white socks. It was a disaster. And other people could play free in the yard and be dirty. I love to go to my grandmother. We did what we want. We have no nursemaid.
Where did your grandmother live? In the country in
Yeah,
Hungary?
in the country. And I remained friendly with these people, with these religious ones, you know. And now one of their cousins, whatever, from Montreal, goes to Dad's grave when there is a yahrzeit. I mean, he sends a minion, they're so religious, good. You did me good many years ago, I owe you a favor. That's all the same cousins and whatever. What if Dad really had very smart father, he gave him so many books, German literature. Believe me, I don't know what's going to happen when I go with that. Throw it out if you don't want it.
Oh, we'll take it.
Huh? You need a new house.
So just to finish with your family, then we'll go to Saba. So just in terms of, so you mentioned the relatives that we knew. Any other, what about Yaki and
That's
Ara?
my cousin.
Yeah, but how are they related?
No, not my...
Yaki, right.
Yaki's mother
Yeah.
and my father were brother and sister.
Okay, and
So
Aaron
was
and...
Bensi.
Right, so they're brothers, all three.
Yeah,
Bensi, Yaki, Aaron are brothers.
Yeah.
Except that Bensi changed his name to Ben God,
God,
but it's
yeah.
Friedman.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so you said is your mother's brother.
Oh, no. Who was my father's brother?
Your father's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how could it
But
be
wait
your
a
father's
minute.
brother if your father was also named Ben Sion?
One.
No, wait. First
That
start.
was his second name because they gave him a second name.
No, but wait a minute. Your father is Rosenfeld, and these guys were Friedman.
Yeah, that's his sisters.
Ah, it's a sister.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's your father's sister.
Yeah.
Okay. And who are the other relatives that you had that, so we mentioned them all.
There is a lady living in my building now. Her husband comes from the same town. And she tells me that her husband told me about my parents. Her husband, who passed away, she says, he's never, we gave a Sefer Torah, he remembers it, and we gave the Sefer Torah for the shul, to the shul.
Okay, so go to Dad's family now. So and how, okay.
You're confusing everyone.
So
That language
anyways,
stuff is just talking.
Okay.
Dad's family, whatever is, they left much more and they kept very close together. The cousins really kept close. And we always kept close to Utah. And we always kept close, especially today. You know, Aunt Elsa with her sinks. Listen, every time I see the dishes, I see Aunt Elsa's dishes.
Which one are Aunt Elsa's? The older ones?
that's and
I know which dishes.
you know the Pesach dishes, the old dishes.
The old Pesach dishes.
Yeah, yeah.
They're downstairs.
Yeah, they belong to her.
And so does the cat. Was
Cat,
the cat was hers?
and then I have a set of candlesticks from her.
Right, you have them.
Yeah, I have them.
And Aunt Elsa was the mother of the New Jersey Dave, who
New
just
Jersey.
passed away.
Yeah, yeah. Listen.
And Aunt Gretel was the mother of...
And Gretel is on my mother's side.
So wait. Okay, I'm not saying anything anymore.
Okay.
I like when you talk, Safta.
Okay, and then Dad came to Canada in 1941 also with some youth program. And at first I were interned because they were Germans. So they
No,
were,
but wasn't it a whole thing that he was too old to go on the train?
that's right.
Well, that start with the kinder transport.
That's what Safta's saying. And she
He
already
wasn't
got-
on the kinder, he went to the next one.
Okay.
And by fluke he came. They were going to take him to Australia. By fluke he got to Canada and he was interned here. And then the Jewish community made them get released.
But wasn't he too old to go on the train from Germany to England?
What? I don't know what
He
happened.
said he was too old, but then
He was too old for one, but he was good for the other.
Well, he said that he and Paul left Germany on the kinder transport.
but that he was too old.
And
for
that
the
somebody
transport.
from the youth group, whatever, in Germany put him on it anyway, even
That-
though he was too
That
old.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So then he went and he was, what, a upholsterer, and Paul was
He
a...
was upholsterers, and he knows how to sweep a factory.
And Paul was something else. Where
A
did they live?
gardener.
Where, gardener. And where did they live in England?
I don't know. He lived with a family, and he lived with and Paul lived in the country.
And then what, so then how did they get from, so what program brought them to Canada?
I don't know. Dad came to Canada because they brought him, and Paul came with another program.
So after the war?
After the war, yeah, yeah.
So even though it was after the war, they still interned the German
No, after
people?
war, baby. He got interned before. No, he got.
One's an internship and one is you're interned in a DP camp.
That-
I
That's-
understand.
So why would
So I'm asking when he came
He came in 1941. I don't know. You.
to Canada.
Yeah, I think
Ah,
it was war.
so that's why he was,
Yeah, yeah. I think it was still wartime.
and he went to high school, right, in Montreal?
Yeah, he went to grade 12 and 13. It's like 1 year college, and that's why he's very good. I think he learned a lot of English, but he likes English.
And he met Pfeiffer, what, on the boat?
No, he came together with Pfeiffer. And
Okay.
that's why Mrs. Pfeiffer used to invite all the Yekkers.
And Stern was on the boat,
Who?
the art guy.
Yeah, Stern was also good. So they were a whole gang together, they came together. And I lost a lot of contact with Hungarians because Dad didn't go for them. He didn't speak Hungarian, and they were not his type. So I shifted. I didn't go to this, I didn't go to that. After the war, when Dad had many good friends. He met a lot of prominent people because, first of all, he had a landlord that was very nice to him. No, the lady where he lived had a very nice landlord, and they became very friendly, and he took Dad under his wings. And then, when he arrived in Canada, the community, all these prominent people invited him for Shabbos, for lunch or whatever. So he get to know the cream of the Jewish community because they invited him. And I want to tell you something. We had a wedding. We only had 12 couples, 25 people. And my friend, a good friend, said, when I looked around the people that you were your guest, you really had a good, fine crowd. And one of the good guests was the director of the Joint Distribution Committee from Germany, and he arranged that I got the shul for $25. That's what we paid rent.
And where did Rabo come from?
Well, that's Rabo, that's our good friend.
With that he did, what do you mean
The
that?
Rabo was here before. He was the landlord's brother-in-law, where Dad lived. That's how we made the connection.
And Jean and Alf?
Jean and Alf. Alf also came together with. Then we met them gradually, and we became friends with Jean and Alf. But you know, we didn't have great meeting till 3-4 years. We could we could live. We barely lived. We had no furniture. Lived alone. You couldn't invite anybody. We lived by yourself for 4 years. I'm here. That's it. So Dad really worked, but he was very, very intelligent. That you don't know. You have no idea. I just realized today how he looked at things. Believe me, I wish I could. He left a good legacy.
So then, and then a lot of the relatives of Dad were in New York.
Yeah, but they all died.
Okay, now they all
Listen.
died. But I knew them before they died.
Listen, we arrived in New York, we had to go here, we had to go there, we had to go there. Don't insult this, don't leave this out. Aunt Elsa used to push us. Go here, go there. What did you do? And he had, you know, Walter, the crazy cousin.
Yeah, what's with Walter? And who is his mother?
Aunt Amalia.
Right.
Yeah.
And how they all related again? Amalia?
Well, she was married to a Hochstadter.
So Amalia and Walter was a Hochstadter.
Yeah.
These other people were Newmans, and that was his mother, Dad's mother's brother.
Did you go to Bloomingdale's? Did it exist?
Lord and Taylor.
I went with Aunt Elsa when I got to New York. That was already in later years. But I went to Altman. But that was already in 1957 when Bob was born. I bought him the nice suit for $30 in 1957. And that was in 1957. But you don't want to remember the 4 years we had, but we're still here. And we were adamant, like with my mother with the scarf. I leave no scarf, I leave nothing till I get what I want. Like you.
You said some people gave you something cheap. And
Yeah. And I said I don't like it. And this Tamara Shakhter said, you're in Canada now, you better take it. Anyways, look, because I wouldn't give anybody something I don't buy myself. You know me. Anyways, look, there's a lot to think about it, but when I see that little name here, I'm so proud of you. Believe me, Saba would be proud to be here. It's too bad he didn't see that.
Don't worry about it.
Huh?
It's just a thesis.
It's a thesis, but it's an accomplishment for you. Oh, today I wrote a German letter. Before I started to write German letters, I thought German. But now that I wrote many letters and many things, I started to think English. So I had to take ugly English word. It came to my head before I put it on paper and translate it to German, then put it in the right context. I thought I died. Because before I tried to use German, the way I know my German, it's ordinary, it's simple, it's old. But now that I thought in English and I thought the word, so I had to find the fitting word in the same context. So I went to the English, I changed to German. I went to German, I changed in German what it really means. It has a different explanation and it's a different context. I managed. Anyways, what? It's 10 o'clock?
No, it's 9.
9.
Should we bring our delicious boys down?
What?
Did you want the delicious boys?
I want to see them.
Adam, can you bring the delicious boys?
I'm tired.
I was trying to find a picture of your mom that she could go over some pictures.
Well, what happened to that cute little album?
The Carolyn album?
No,
Yeah, the little
her
album. Where is it?
Here, her album, the one that, here.
That's the only pictures I have left over. That's the only pictures. Don't leave it on the table.
Oh, I put it here.
Yeah. Maybe Adam could copy it to give it to Bob.
To
So-
tell us
so-
who's in the pictures.
Yeah, but I don't remember, Caroline.
Are you in this?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. No, I don't know.
You had braids.
No, I had no braids that time. I don't know.
This says in the back, Ilse and Max Brenner's wedding.
Yeah, that's oh, they were very high class.
This is you.
My mother
That's your mother.
on the beach. And this is,
Buzzy, is her name Buzzy?
yeah. Two cousins, I don't know, my sister maybe, and that's Geza's wife.
Geza's wife and your sister is one of them.
I'm not sure.
Die Tochter Vika und Marika Polly's Tochter.
Oh, yeah, see. Der Tochter mit der Tochter. Oh, that's one of them is her little girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what do you have here?
Here is a wedding from Ilse.
Again. Now, is this your grandmother?
Oh, yeah, that's my grandmother.
I like your shorts. Wear your green shorts. Okay. About you in this one?
That's my mother here.
That's your mother. Was she teaching?
No, at Crazy Mother, those sailor suits you had to wear until you died.
No, but who else is in the picture with your mother?
Her friends.
Oh, these are her friends wearing sailor suits. Okay.
Everybody, any idiot had to wear.
And who's this?
That's Dad's family. I don't know who.
Dad's family.
You know, those sailor suits were a disaster.
Let's see what it says in the back. It says, doesn't say anything on this
Doesn't.
one.
Oh, you had to be obliged to wear that suit. Whew.
Braids, sailor suits, and boots. This also doesn't say anything. Oh, wait. Maybe in the back of the picture. No. Just glued onto something. Yehuda, come in here and get in the video and give Safta a huggy because she wants you in the video. No, you're not supposed to video. I'm going to move. You sit here.
Why don't you go over some of the...
Yehuda, sit here, man. Ah, this is you.
Oh, yeah, only that's by Robert Brother Paul, that's his male, and this is the little one, Lucy Esther.
Yes.
Let her go over the album with Safta.
That's my father.
Watch it. Don't lose this stuff. That's your...
That's my father.
Oh, okay.
He went to the country.
Like more not.
Oh, that was an expedition like Yitzias Mitzrayim. With suitcases, you never saw anything.
Worse than us?
Caroline, and then had to take two maids.
That's important. This is the wedding picture.
Well, my mother couldn't do all that.
From
work.
whose wedding?
Her mother. That Safta had that on her dresser always. Right?
Yeah,
Wait, you have...
and that's my
Wait, you skipped. That's your
Me.
sister? That's you?
Yeah, my sister. And what's this?
Your
That's
brother?
my brother, the
Right.
little one when he was a little boy.
Brother, sister.
I don't know who it is.
Wait, keep going. Just more pictures.
That's a little sister, and that's also the little sister of my brother, maybe.
Yeah, this is all moving.
That's a little cousin.
Here.
Oh, that's
Sister and brother.
no, that's a big brother, and that's a little brother.
That's a brother?
Yeah,
Looks like a girl.
the little one, no.
Oh.
And that's, I think, like a brother, and that's me.
Which brother is the little brother?
The little one is Robert.
So this is a boy?
This is a girl, my
Oh, this
sister.
is Lucy, but this is
The one
Robert.
wearing suit.
Okay, this is Lucy, this is Robert.
Yeah, and
This
this is the two boys, my brother, two brothers.
Okay.
And this is me, you see the white socks.
White socks.
Everybody had to wear, my brother and the sister. White socks.
Okay, Ma's in the white socks. Okay. Okay.
This is my grandmother and me at age 13, all of us.
You're tall. So who's this?
That is a cousin that stayed with us. I wouldn't cut my hair, walk around like an idiot.
Oh, it looks like she's from Star Wars.
Ma has the braids.
I
She
hate-
always liked short hair after
I
that.
don't have long hair. And this is my brother, me, and maybe another maid and another maid. That's my little brother, and that's again with the socks, and a maid and a governess.
Oh, you got the socks. The socks are very important. White socks.
Okay. And this again, the governess. And
You?
again, governess. That's me. I had a new watch, I remember. Oh boy, it was a good thing. It cost $50. Oh, those.
You and your grandmother?
Yeah. Crazy. And everybody had to wear high shoes.
Those boots, the boots.
A disaster. Here.
Here's you again.
Yeah. Here is the three children. And that's again the cousin, my sister. And she was blonde. And my little brother. So, that they saved this book.
I have it.
Yeah. Maybe Adam can take a copy for Bob. He shouldn't be jealous.
Don't worry.
Right?
Okay, what else? What do you have to say to this delicious boy?
I just love him. One is the other. When I can't sleep at night.
I'm getting
I-
the other one.
I
But he
get
says
it.
he's not ready to be on
And when
camera.
I can't sleep at night, I think of MAH00040, but they're
Is he
getting too
upstairs?
old. Huh?
Yeah. He said he's not ready to be on film, on camera.
No, very cute. Oh. Anyways, the first word you said was apple.
Yeah. Like I
You
said,
better-
I like that.
when
I
you
still
better-
eat apples today.
What?
I still eat apples today.
Yeah? It was on the South Beach Village beach.
Cape Cod.
You will remember Cape Cod.
I'll always remember Cape Cod.
Hmm?
I said I will always remember.
Anyways,
Cape Cod.
I'm going to go now because...
Jim is coming for 1 second. Under protest because he loves
What are we
you.
doing with this video?
Now he's not coming.
let him stay.
Tell him he's not going to.
When you see this fellow Dr. Siegel, you can tell him that it's a good memory from his family.
What are we doing with these videos?
I'm sure he
We're
remembers.
remembering Safta and
He
her
remembers
life
the
story
people.
and Saba's life story. Because we failed to video Saba, so we're videoing Safta. Nicole, would you like to?
I don't think why we're in video is about something.
Because she loves you and she wants you to be in the video.
What does she
No, I
want?
was just here for like an hour.
You know, your voice was here for an hour. Okay.
All right. I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, Mother.
Now, what else can I can tell you more?
If you have more to say, keep saying
Oh,
it.
Shim's here.
Or-
Read that book.
Shim is coming, and then
Read that book,
we'll
Buddenbrock.
give it to us.
Well, it's in Montreal.
The other thing is, if you think of something else, Adam can video you
Have a
again.
secret.
Oh,
another
shimmy,
time.
shimmy, the best. The best.
Yes, I know.
I'm having a good time. A grandson who doesn't mind go with an old person shopping.
I don't mind.
No, anytime.
Anytime.
So will you drive tomorrow?
If mommy lets.
Both of us, one of us, will figure
Now
it out.
listen, I hope they're going to sign that lease.
Oh, of course they're gonna sign the lease. They
So-
wanna stay, they'll sign it, they're just slow.
I wouldn't like to be in this business.
No. And if you think of more things, so who does Shimmy look like? Saba's family or your family?
No, I don't know.
Or Daddy's family?
Or none of them.
More like Adam. He looks like you, she.
Both.
I think Yehuda looks like Adam.
Okay. What about Michal?
I don't know. She looked cute. When she was a baby, I don't know whom she looks like.
And what do you have to say about your delicious grandson,
Mom,
Shimia?
why are you making
They're all
Shimmy
special.
Ask Sefta what her what her words of advice are, or the lesson that she learned from her whole story.
A voice.
Anyways, we're gonna go because
Dad.
What are
look.
your words of advice to Shimshon
No, not to
Menachem
Shim.
Dicker?
No, it's what Sefta learned in her life. That would be her lesson that she would say.
do the right thing. Do
Which
the
is
honorable thing. Be transparent and a decent person. There is
And-
nothing worse than dealing with people who hide things, eh?
And what? Anything else?
God, is that you?
Anything
It's
else?
a bot call. It's a bot call.
What was it? Hey, Safta, tell me
Because
about Alaska.
You're welcome
Tell-
to be in the video.
Mom, it's
Can you
not
stop?
the Carolyn show, nor is
What-
it the Shim show.
Well, tell me about Alaska when Yehuda and Shim took you on that Eagles thing.
The thing wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, believe me. It's not, I think, it didn't hurt me, but that thing, they were really holding on to them.
Were they helpful to you?
Very helpful. I expected it. Shim was good to me. I would go with them any place. Even in a new helicopter, eh?
Yes.
If Vincent will train me to climb up.
But Vincent isn't training you.
If you could take a vacation with Shimshon,
I would.
where would you want to go?
Hawaii, not Alaska. What did she say?
It's not the Michal show.
Michal said, me either.
I'm
Michal,
in the market for a vacation.
after a honeymoon.
But I'm glad I was there.
Where do you recommend that I go?
I didn't like that Costa Rica
Come
cruise.
down and talk
That
about
was
it.
second rate. And the boat was second rate. Don't tell anybody
We
because
know.
people go on it and
We
they think
know.
it's good.
Okay, we'll cut this out of the video.
No, this is the best part.
I'm also in the market for a cougar, so as soon as you can pass that on.
Do you have any words of advice for Michal and Josh?
You get in the video for a minute.
Just do what Michal tells everybody to do. What Michal says to do.
Because I'm the smartest. Right? You told me that yesterday.
So what do you think of Josh? Is he a good guy?
I think so.
Well, he doesn't know Latin.
I think so.
But he doesn't.
He's a good thinker.
He's a thinker, but he doesn't speak French or German.
Or Latin.
Well, I don't have to marry him.
Or Latin.
I don't have to marry him.
Some
And
does
believe
not
me,
marry him.
Caroline, the Latin helped me.
Were you nervous about Michal getting married?
No, I'm glad she got married.
But didn't you pray that she find the right guy?
I'm glad she got married, and now you worry about it.
What about Carolyn?
Oh no, she's okay.
So when she hurt her knee when she was a little girl,
It's a
did you
bad-
think she was going to get married?
You know what?
Tell
I
me.
bought these strips. God forbid I fall, I need them. I'm going to leave them here. So if you need this Sarah strip, it's in my room.
So when other elderly people come to visit, we're ready
Yeah,
in
yeah.
case
yeah.
they have an accident?
Listen, you never know when you need Sarah strips.
Of course, you never
Didn't we
know.
make some, didn't fix some cuts in the last couple of years?
You've had a few wounds. Yes, wound care has been
Yeah,
a common
my
topic.
profession. But
I-
I
I'm
finally met a doctor. He's a retired surgeon. Believe me, as Daisy, he's a nut. The way he talks, do that. Did I say that? But he told me and gave good advice. And I didn't pay for it. It was an emergency.
So if you're 87 now, when did you first start working with a personal trainer?
When you told me to do.
Were you 80 at that time?
No, I don't remember, but you insisted I exercise.
Will was from Arizona, after Arizona.
What year in
Arizona,
Arizona?
yeah. What was the name? Gregory.
That's
No.
right. It
Was
was
it
Gregory,
Gregory? Yeah.
sure. You were scared to go to be with a personal trainer.
No, I just didn't think
And then
it.
Adam went to pick you up and you didn't come out. You were training away.
Yeah, I come to pick you up, and you're talking and talking with him and talking
Well,
with him.
first of all, I really liked when I get into it with the trainer because the gym setup was the same as in our gymnasium, and it made me feel good because I really liked gym.
So wait a minute, this is in Scottsdale?
Yeah, in Scottsdale, yeah.
So you remembered your gym when you were a kid?
Well, who's going to not remember when you 8 years to the same gym?
Okay.
And it was, I didn't realize, but that gym was good. And English was good, all was good, but let's do the best now.
Well, thank you very much. To be continued.
Yeah, well,
If you think of more things, we'll keep videoing.
Yeah,
but we
yeah,
got
but,
through a lot.
Just remember the scarf.
Yeah, don't worry, I know about the scarf.
You know about this?
I know about the scarf and about being woken up in the middle of the night to clean up your room with a few diamond ring
Don't worry.
swipes. And then what? You threw your clothing on the floor for how many years?
What?
You threw your clothing on the floor at night for how many years?
Many years, many years.
Why did you stop?
I don't know, Dad told me to stop. But the last best thing he did, he used to put his sweaters in the living room to air because he didn't have enough chairs in the bedroom to air. So I said to him, the next time I find a sweater, I'm going to throw it out. What? He said, in that case, I want to throw out something, I'll put it in the living room. And in the last couple of months, he wouldn't go to bed. He was very slow. So I would call him Fred. He says, yes, that's my name.
Don't use it in vain.
Hmm?
Don't use it in vain.
He was very considered, and I think that a lot of things that I realize and see now, he knew all about. Because he said to me, tell Bob, a business does not run by itself. That's what he told me. And he must have seen a lot of things I see, I realize. He just didn't want to tell me because he really never gave me bad news. You know, when he lost his driver's license and he had to take a test again, he went to a place where they give you a test, and he didn't tell me for 24 hours that he didn't pass the test. He let me go to sleep, and he told me in the morning, and I called up a driving school, and I said, you take lessons? He took lessons, he drove another 2-3 years. Nobody likes to lose a license, Caroline. I tell you, I got that license 2018. It's like that 2018, you don't know what freedom it gives you. I can't explain it to you. Wait for people, wait for call taxis, impolite people, and just take you this way. I go, thank God Aaron got better and I go with him. As long as I can manage on my own. Like Zachary Dicker. He doesn't give up his apartment, right?
House. His house.
His house, yeah. Anyways.
I think we should